other people, right?
Absolutely, collaboration. Let's go a little deeper on that Topic. Collaboration is number one way of growing a channel. Why? Because two things out of it. One you already mentioned. When
Mhm.
you're collaborating with another influencer or another social figure,
Mhm.
what you're doing, you're blending in the audiences, and
Yeah.
some of your viewers are gonna go follow them, and some of the viewers are gonna come follow you.
Mhm.
Now this works in a on social platforms. This is the key to growth. This exact formula doesn't work in real life in business, because put it to you this way: if we're in business together, you're in business, I'm in business. If my customer comes buys from you, I lose, you gain. If that customer buys from me, you lose, I gain. So in real life in business, it's a lose and win situation. That's the beauty of social media. Social platforms create win-win situations.
Yeah.
So if my follower comes to you, I don't lose, you gain. Your follower comes to me, you don't lose, I gain. This way both of us gain.
And
That's why.
some people, you know what it is, Gore? It's funny. Michael actually just came in here. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how are you? Welcome,
You
Michael.
know what it is? Some people, they refuse to collaborate
Hmm.
with others. Why? Because they're scared. They're
Hmm.
scared that their followers are going to go to that other person, right?
Ah,
I don't know why you think that. Like,
so that's a very short mindset to have.
it goes back to there's a lot of space for everybody.
Hmm.
You know, we might have very similar content, but we're not exactly the same. Listen, at the end of the day, like I said, you could copy me, but you're not me. You understand?
Absolutely.
You're not the person. You don't have the personality. You don't have the impact that they have on their fans. You understand?
It's like the saying, you can imitate but never duplicate.
Exactly. I have a good friend that runs by that mantra.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
One thing I want to tell you, though, guys, a lot of people, okay, that are very, very new to this, the show, podcasting, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, a lot of people, okay, right off the bat, they want to go get a guy with 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 followers and invite them to the show, which is great. It's good because, you know, you're looking very high, right?
Shoot for the moon. Even
You
if you
shoot
miss, you
very
land
high.
among the
You're
stars.
gonna exactly shoot among the stars. You might fall halfway, but what's important is that you shot towards the star. It's like what Wayne Gretzky says: you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I agree with you,
Dude, I said that saying yesterday and I did something that you came to mind. Go ahead. That's
but
funny.
you have to be realistic. Okay, uh, listen, guys, I don't do that. I don't go for people that have a million followers that I just do, you know, get the clout and everything. What I do is that I go at the same level. Okay, I have 1,000 followers. I'll go with someone else that has 1,000 followers, even less. You know what I mean? You work your way up, right? You work your way up, you get more followers, you collaborate with bigger people after, and then you move like that. But you know what I mean? Just to shoot yourself out there when you have no reputation, you just started, you don't even know how to handle somebody with that kind of a following, right? Because you got to understand when you have somebody with a huge following, they come on, you won't even be able to handle the comments and everything. People don't realize that. Be realistic,
That's an amazing point you just made.
and stay in your place. All right. Because what you're gonna do, or else, is you're gonna go for all these people that are unattainable. They're very busy at that point, right? So you're gonna get all those people. Most of them are gonna say no, and what's gonna happen? Your confidence will go in the garbage can. And you know that eventually, when you ask a lot of people, and then most people don't want to come, does it look very good? You know what I mean? Like, not that you're supposed to care about what people think, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, be realistic. Go for somebody that you know that will say, yeah, but I go for people that I have run into. I have run into them, but not, it doesn't have to be in person, obviously. But let's say I did a podcast with somebody, their friend reached out to me. I don't know, you mentioned somebody, it's a friend of a friend. Those are ways you could get opportunities to talk to them. But if you just go out of the blue and you message some person, don't expect for them to come on a silver platter with gold medals. You know what I mean?
This is true, and it's another way of looking at it is, if you're going, if say you have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and you're reaching out a person who has 150,000 subscribers on YouTube, the reason they're going to say no almost all the time is because they know that if you're small, most likely you're not going to be able to carry on the interviews and the conversations in a way where at that standard, at that level is done. And in order for you to get to that, at that standard, at that level, there's only one way. You got to take the stairs. You cannot take the elevator. You have to put in the work, and with work, repetition is going to happen, and you're going to get and become a better host, better interviewer, better speaker, better listener. And that way you're going to qualify for similar type of guests.
Yeah. For example, Gore, Larry King, okay, the reason why he was such a great interviewer is because he was able to make the guest say anything. You know that you have guests and they're not going to say certain things. He would make the guests so freaking comfortable, they would say anything. Okay? So at the end of the day, when you're having someone on your show, if you don't really know them, they don't know how you are, they don't know the vibe, you don't know the chemistry between you and that person, it's probably a recipe for a disaster, because like they either will not come, or they won't show up, or they won't feel comfortable doing it, or they're gonna brush you off, and it won't be a good show. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
you gotta have people that you have good chemistry with, right? And then you also want to be careful, right? If you're having guests that do that, let's say you're having a comedian, right? And you're from LA, you're better off getting a comedian from LA than a comedian from, I don't know, Washington or something. You know what I mean? Like, because then they're gonna be like, wait a minute, you're a show from LA and you're getting a comedian on, but you're not getting one of our own, and then you're gonna look like a sellout. So you want to be careful for those things too, right? There's conflicts, and then you're gonna have people, oh, why are you having him on? He's such a bad person. He did this to me.
They're going to pin it against you, and you're gonna have to answer.
If you think like that, you're never gonna make it anywhere. You have to not care about what people say, not care about who has a beef with who. At the end of the day, you are your own person, and you have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, and that being said, if you're someone who has 1,000 subscribers, and for some reason you have that interview experience from a different field, say from you happen to be an interviewer or a host of some kind of media as a work profession, then I honestly encourage you to say do it. Don't let the 1,000 subscribers hold you back. As long as you're personally ready to carry on a quality interview with the person who gave you a shot. And actually, one of my mentors, I'm wearing their shirt, Patrick but David, and I made a shorts about him too. He's in it too. He was on live on Instagram, and I was recording him, and then he turned around. You can see the video; it's on my channel. Like, Patrick, I'll be sending you this. It turned out like, all right. And long story short, he actually when he first started, right now he has about 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube, a few million followers on Instagram. But he started YouTube 7-8 years ago, and at first, in the very beginning, he was able to get Mark Cuban. He was like, I think he was in either his very first or second, or first, second, third interview was Mark Cuban. So imagine the level where he started from. But the guy was ready. He already made a business that was over $50 million worth, and right now it's over 200-300 million. So what I'm trying to say, on a personal note, from his personal and business experiences, he was ready to sit down with Mark Cuban, and he did it. He killed it, and then he got more and more guests on a similar level, a little less. Well, at that point, anyone you can get at that level, it's not going to be bad. So he continued on killing it, and now he has a very, very big media company too, where he actually has 3, 4, 5 other peoples, where that channel made other people famous. So that's pretty much the steps we wanna learn from and see how successful people are doing. Hence the name of the channel, Modeling Success Successfully. You know, they're already doing it. There is no reason to reinvent the wheel. All we need to do is just learn the rules. Don't break them, but bend them to your own advantage. But don't break them, within the rules.
But one thing I want to say, though, your buddy, you were talking about, his name is Patrick, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the thing is, we don't know his situation. Maybe he has a personal relation to him. Maybe a friend of his is a good friend of him. Like, if you might have that little chance that you could directly talk to him, or there's somebody that really, really knows him well, and you get lucky. That's what getting lucky is. You know what I mean? Like I said, good for him. He reached out to that billionaire, that big guy, and he said yes. Well, he pretty much won the lottery at that point. You know what I mean? Like, if you get a billionaire on as your first guest, well, then you're extremely lucky.
I agree. In this case, in this specific case, I think he earned it because he already had big credibility on a
Yeah.
personal level with him. So Cuban, Mr. Cuban, wasn't saying yes to the channel. He was saying yes to the guy.
But
So
also,
you're
where is he
absolutely
from?
right.
This guy, is he from
I'm
LA?
sorry. Well, he's a Syrian Armenian,
Okay.
Armenian Iranian, but
Mhm.
he lives in America. He was in LA. He moved to Texas, and recently he moved to Miami. So
Okay.
they're finding the states that are most tax friendly.